already 21. Okay. So let's go for it. Yes. Yep.
Yes. Welcome again. Now, Alok and Victor will talk about Volto-light-theme, Volto-theming Reimagined. Big applause for them.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we are going to talk about a product theme that we've developed in Kit Concept the last year. Yeah, let me do a little bit of introduction. This theme is the placeholder of all the knowledge and feedback and of the good practices that we've been learning during the last years. And the idea was to infuse this knowledge into a theme that we can then reuse across our projects and use it as template, as base of all of them. So we don't have to re-implement every single time the same patterns, the same best practices everywhere. So yeah, this is a quick look at how it looks like. We call it light theme because it was meant to be light and clean, right? And yeah, you can take a look at it. Oh, I thought I had the URL somewhere. Oh crap. Yeah, sorry. So maybe it comes later, right? Yes. Yeah, so we have a site where you can take a look. It's it's light-theme.kitconcept.io. So yeah, probably I think it's in a further slide after. So you can take a look at it. You can play with it. It's a demo site. You can log in with admin. It gets reset every day, so don't worry if you mess with it. So yeah, this is the vision. So along with all these best practices that we wanted to put in there, we also wanted to try a new theming approach. So yeah, the idea is, yeah, we have this theme that is going to be the foundation of all the upcoming projects, right? Then we had the limitation, but well, it's not a limitation, I mean, at least it's a requirement, so that Volto can have only one theme at a time active, right? Because all the architecture of internals of Volto. And we wanted, since each project has its own peculiarities, especially in look and feel, we wanted to have this idea of extending the theme. So not to override or create a theme every single time that we had to undertake a project, but instead of that, using this base theme that we want to have across all our projects as a foundation, we extend that theme. So we don't have to create a new one every single time, or neither that is based on this or come up with a new thing, rather extending it, right? So we took care that this was possible. We will share with you how we did it afterwards. And so the idea is that all the add-ons sum up to the existing active theme. Okay, we had also the one limitation, well, I call it a limitation because it's quite at the end ends up by being cumbersome. If you have an add-on and you want to add CSS that will style that add-on, you import this CSS as a side effect, right? Then that CSS pops magically into your build, and then it gets applied. Technically, you don't have any control how this side effect import is going to be applied in your build. How does it work? Webpack goes through all the imports. When it sees this import for the CSS, it just loads it at that point. If later on it sees another import of a styling, then it just put it afterwards. You don't have any control of which one is going to go first, right? And eventually, at some point, that could bite you at the end, right? Because of CSS cascading and everything. So we wanted to have control over how the add-ons can sum up to the existing theme and solve this problem. Then one other thing is we wanted also to elevate the vertical spacing importance and relationship between blocks. So right now in Vanilla Volto, we don't take much care about that, but we knew our clients' feedback was that they wanted also that their sites look nice, especially, and this vertical spacing was harmonic, right, through all the pages, and we put a special a special effort into making that happen. Yeah, we will show you afterwards also how we do that. We ditch semantic UI in favor of a more white label based styling. We're still halfway there. We'll talk about that as well. We are leveraging new available CSS features with simpler layouts than the one that Volto pushes. Yeah, then we added some opinionated defaults to Vanilla Volto, so we know which things works and which doesn't, and then we configure them by default. So over these vanilla configurations that Volto comes out of the box. And then we also recommended a suite of essentials non-core add-ons that we are always using. We will talk also later. And then, in general, propose a saner customization story. So if you want to quick start with the Volto-light theme, you can add it to your build like this. And then after this, you can add it to your build, to your Volto configuration in your package.json, as any other add-on, right? So you can declare it as an add-on and later on as a theme. This is a feature that we introduced early this year. So the ability that Volto knows about which is the theme, the add-on theme that is going to be active at that point. So we do it like this, then Volto knows which add-on is your theme, then it applies and configure everything that for this to happen. You can do it also in the volto-config.js in case that you want to do that dynamically, programmatically. It will really have this shape. Again, declare it as an add-on and as a theme. And you can also declare the theme via an environment variable that will also, Volto will look for it and then it will be configured. So yeah, let's talk about the Volto's new theme extensibility story. We thought, or we had an idea that we could have some theme entry points, or declare some theme entry points in the way that with these entry points, which are at the end technically Webpack aliases. So with these Webpack aliases, we could go and compile, get all the CSS that we want to inject into our theme. Now I will explain how, and then make our theme build, get this additional styling that we want in our theme, and build them as if they were part of the theme itself, right? Although, so how does this work? So it works with CSS themes. So we can only do that with SCSS. We declare these two entry points is the underscore main SCSS and the underscore variables SCSS. And we can put it in any add-on, and that's also important to say. So it doesn't have to be a theme add-on because the theme add-on is going to remain being Volto-light theme, right? But we can put it in every add-on. The add-ons, the Volto add-ons registry will look for all the add-ons and will look for these files that should be in SRC theme. Now in the next slide we will see it. This is how it works. So I have my add-on there, and I have in SRC theme I have my underscore main SCSS. And then I can have also an underscore variables SCSS. And in another add-on, I can have only one, or yet my third add-on with, again, the two of them. The Volto will gather all them, and will gather also in order, and that's the important thing. So in the order that they are declared in the add-ons key, and we'll add them to the theme build. So the theme is going to get this styling and these variables that will come from the add-ons, and will build those stylings along with their own styling. So we will sum up to the existing theme, instead of loading here and there pieces of SCS of styling that won't end up in the cascade in a wrong order, or could be that could happen. And this way we ensure that they are all applied in an order that we intended to. Okay, solving the original problem of importing them as side effects, right? So going back, we have these two entry points. You can inject styles and variables in the theme. Why the variables? This is also important. In our add-ons, if we wanted to inject some styling, it was impossible to get the variables from Volto, for example. And the same will happen if we won't be able to do this, because by injecting them into the build of the theme, we're getting by default all the variables, for example, the widths, the breakpoints, and all these kind of things that exist in the theme, and we cannot bring them into the styling of the add-on because the add-on have a CSS that is detached from everything. By doing this styling from the add-on starts to get integral part of the theme build. Then it will have access to all the variables. It could inject their own, and it will inject its own styling to summing up to the whole story of the theme. And the last one is the remaining of the idea. So it extends the theme from the inside at build level. Okay, yeah, we are doing SCSS by default, yeah. And we are using this escape hatching from semantic UI. We only customize the essentials in the semantic UI side in Volto-light-theme. The rest is controlled by the SCSS escape hatch. We do the escape hatch with doing this. So we have to customize, we have to shadow this at-root theme JS that lives in your project, right? And then we maintain the original ones, which is the two top ones, imports, which load semantic UI, and then Pastanaga afterwards. And then we introduce the escape hatch here. And this is the pointer to the entry point that will load all the Volto-light theme afterwards, and all the customizations that we talked about with their own entry points, the main and the variables one. This is this way of escape hatching. You can also do it in your theme. If you're interested to do your own Volto-light theme, you could do that also as well. Have your own base themes for your projects. This is how the escape hatching is, so you can escape from semantic UI, put your own SCSS build on that, because Volto allows you to use SCSS nowadays. And as you can see on the right, it's how it looks like inside the add-ons theme. So then you customize all the basics of semantics, so you get along with it. Probably, yeah, what we're doing is also customizing this small thing like font, like breakpoints and things like that. Then we forget about semantic. We put it aside. Then we work on the CSS side. Then vertical spacing. Yeah, I told you we took special care into that because it was one of the requirements in our clients. Yeah, there you can see a summary of how it looks like, how all the vertical spacing is carefully implemented. So when, for example, take a look at how the background color, the gray background color ends, the spacing between the button and the next one that is not gray, that it's the same, so it maintains also this harmony, right? Let's see yet another example. Here the same. Yeah, take a look also at the headings. So yeah, we have a grid with a heading, and then how it relates to the block, to the text block above that doesn't have background color, and then they have same vertical spacing. So yeah, so the rhythm, the vertical rhythm looks nice to the eyes, and so it results in a better readability of the whole site. And yeah. Yeah, and lastly, yeah, here you can see the interaction above consecutive grids. This is also that we took care of. So, okay, if we have two or more consecutive grids, they became a group of grids. So we also control the spacing between them, which is the same as the spacing horizontally. So, yeah, we can have this appealing look and feel. And then, again, in the next one, there is another grid block, but since this grid block it's in a gray space and also has a heading, then it has another rules that apply. So it has also these, the separation are different, although the foregrid at the top in the white background follows another grid with one block in the next one. How we do that? So we end up by coming up with a new way of grouping blocks that the Volto theme is overriding from the original in Vanilla Volto. But it's in fact, it ends up by being also very light, so it's only customizing the render blocks, and I think that there's yet another, yeah, but it's very light. It uses, so it looks ahead and looks back the blocks that are coming and the blocks that came after me. And by doing this, you group the blocks. Now we are doing only that with the background color, but you could say, okay, given a property in my block, I can group them with, along with this property. For now, we do the background color. So we do this look ahead, look behind. We group them in lists, and then we render them in the appropriate wrappers. So we can then apply more easily the CSS up and down, right? We are doing that by injecting some CSS using the styling wrapper. So we use the features in the styling wrapper to inject proper CSS names that controls all this. And it ends up in a very, very simple CSS, which used to be hugely difficult before we have the styling wrapper and these features that it introduces.
Okay, so now I am continuing with what we did into the Volto-light theme. So first thing, the theming is related to the CSS mainly, right? So we want to make our CSS, writing CSS easy and anybody can write it. So first thing which we did is we want to make our theme do not use the semantic UI. So basically, if you are working onto the Volto and if you want to create your own theme or style the blocks and the semantic UI component, it is not an easy thing. You have to find all the particulars, IDs, particular selector, then you have to make it a long one, and then you have to put the important and everything to override it. So basically, we thought that why not we move from semantic UI to our new invention which is going on in our community, like the headless UI, which you get the default component, and based on that you can style it, and we provide you an easy method. You just go to the CSS, write the same selector, and it overrides the default CSS which we are provided by the Volto-light theme. So in Volto-light-theme, we introduced like three new layout for the three new layout. Basically, in the current Volto, if you see, like we have only one containers, and using the hack, we are getting ahead of the container width, or if you want like shorter, you'll based on the media query and the viewport width, you generally style it. But after the introduction of the container queries from the start of this year, we really wanted to like utilize this layout structure, and we first like introduce internally like how we can leverage that, and then we come out with the three layout width, like which is like 40 pixel, like the maximum layout which a Volto-light-theme or any block or any page can get is like 40 pixel, and after that we'll snap it. Right, so nothing will go above the 40 pixels. So even if you have bigger screen, you will get like nice layout. Then we have like another one, which is the default width. So if you see the modern design, like the content and the images are like not like very coupled. So you'll see like the image has some bigger features and everything, and the content is readable, right? So we generally wanted to like make the same thing. So we come with another default width, like which is like 90/40 pixel. So based on the viewport width and based on your like blocks and the theme structure, you can use this width and apply it to your block, and you get a nice theming structure like which is presented by your designer or what you want to implement. So how we are like achieving that? So it's not like a rocket science or anything. So basically, we are using the mixing of the SCSS. So you just have to define like a mixin and like the narrow container width, and then you write the logic which you want, and you just call it for every block. So it's basically you write it once, use it everywhere, right? So if you have different block which has the same UI which is defined, you can just write a mixin, and based on your viewport width, you can get the desired layout for that. The one major problem like which we faced during the theming is the structure or the viewport alignment based on the edit mode. So once the editor is logged in, we have like a toolbar, and then we have the sidebar. And making our blocks consistent into the edit mode and the view mode, we always have to calculate what is the toolbar, what is the sidebar, do the minus, plus, and everything, and then we structure the container for both the edit mode and the view mode. But after we move to the container layouts, like it's like a breeze, like we do not have to do anything. We just written a simple mixin which calculate the width of the remaining part after the toolbar and the sidebar, and based on that we just applied our CSS. Like you can do anything, like if the viewport is like 40 pixel or 720 or whatever it is, you can just do that, right? So this is like simple things like which we wanted to introduce for each block, so that we can have a sensible, like you can define a sensible layout and you can use it for each and every block which you wanted. Also, like same as our like Volto-light-theme, we do not want to make it everything from the scratch. We want to use our community developed add-ons and the add-ons which is related for this theme, so that we can have a possible product, right? So this is defined as the peer dependency. If you want, you can use it. If you do not want, you cannot use it. If you want, just define the particular add-ons in your project, and it's available out of the box. So basically, we are using like accordion block, button block, like this GVO, like banner, then the heading, introduction, separator, and the slider block. So basically, this we wanted to make a theme like which we can use in our coming projects. So we basically like need these add-ons, and we try to not create like everything from the scratch. So we are going to use these add-ons for this one. So yeah.
Yeah, we also have in there Volto Sensible default. So we override vanilla Volto configurations to meet this feedback that we got from our clients. So yeah, I don't know. For example, one small example is the listing block. It allows you to choose between H2 or H3 depending on on what's the structure of your page, yeah, we come up with the conclusion that maybe our clients really only need one, and then remove this option from the listing block, things like that, right? So we are touching here and there, but small things, not everything, but yeah. For improving usability and UX or editor experience, we did these kind of things. Then we had to come up with an enhanced style wrapper using one feature that is in there, that it is style class name extenders. So you know that the style wrapper allows you to inject into your block HTML some classes given properties in your block, right? So you put properties like, I don't know, background color or text font, or I don't know, margin. So you put some style wrapper properties in your block that goes into an object, and given the content of this object, the style wrapper adds these CSS properties to your block, either in edit mode or in view mode. But I don't know if you know it, but we have this style class name extenders thing that you can pass a function that you can even further extend it, and allowing custom classes that will help you with what you are trying to achieve. So we did this for, as I said, to be aware of which blocks are behind and which ones are coming. And we're injecting these special classes that will later help us with constructing this harmonious vertical spacing that I told you about. It also tells us if it has the same background color as the block that is behind me, or the block that is coming after, things like that, or which type of block is the one that is coming after, or the one that I had behind. And yeah, and it helps. It's yeah, generate the classes giving this information, and we use it. We find out that it was quite useful, and then the CSS became far more simpler. Initially, we were doing this using sibling selectors and contain selectors, things like that, but it ended up by being impossible. And yeah, we had the parent selector around, but it's not there yet in every major browser, and there were situation edge cases that wouldn't work either. So we found out that by doing this it was more easier, far better. Then what is the future? The future is that we will want also to jump into the headless system components. So now I told you we don't have any semantic on it. They are all custom or very basic components using basic tags. We are not doing anything of another world. But it will be great if we put in there a white label components library. I told you during my other talk that we had identified these React area components, which is very nice, and we think it's this headless CSS, a new trendy word, yeah, again. So this white label components library that will allow us to build components that are not tied to any design system. And eventually use Plone components, why not? That will be based on this kind of idea. Yeah, I think that's it. At the end, I would like also to mention something. I don't know if anybody has already tried. I know that Piero has built the Io Comune theme following the same ideas. But I know that people are building things around the light theme already. I have a very good friend of mine. He's a crack in Python and everything, but yeah, CSS, whatever. And he's everywhere doing a lot of things, and I know that he did already more than 4 websites with it, and he's it's very happy and with how easy it is to build themes around it. And finally, yeah, I will leave this in the air, but at some point, Volto-light-theme also was born because we wanted to have this polished theming story in Plone, in Volto. So it could be that this is the embryo of the new theming system that we want to push for upcoming versions of Plone 7, who knows. Yeah, so let's continue iterating over it, and yeah, thanks for attending.
Thank you, Victor and Alec. Any questions?
Okay, I have most likely a stupid question for you, but using SCSS, is that still necessary today with all the enhancement that CSS has seen lately?
The answer is could be that no, and this is something that yet we have to explore. Yeah, but this happened in summer, right? When the nesting support was finally added to all major browsers. We have custom properties since a long time ago, so we can substitute all the variable interpolations with that as well. Although there are some edge cases that you can still use CSS properties inside, depending what things, especially in media queries and in container queries. So there's still some kind of limitations in there. But yeah, it's totally worth exploring all the new capabilities in the new browsers because at the end, we are not doing that crazy things in the CSS side, right? But yeah, since it's there and we know how, yeah, so we're doing.
Yeah, also one thing, like everybody is not like have the new updated Chrome, like if you do not have that, so it does not have those features, so this preprocessor already add all the styles like in older ways, so we can make it stable for, say, if you even have like not a good a new browser, it still works in your. So that's one feature like which community highlights why we should use the preprocessor thing. Otherwise, we do not also have the mixing and the new things, right? So otherwise, you have to write everything at the one place, right? So there are still some benefits of using like SCSS. So still the community is using it, but once everything is backported to the CSS with all like 100% working, because we still have to do all lots of like finding like, hey, this is not working in Chrome, this is not working in Firefox, this is not in Safari. And we know that we have a client like which check it's everywhere, right? Like there's Safari and we have to do a lot of things, so we still need a CSS, I guess.
Yeah, but worth exploring, yes.
How stable is it? So early this year, we were thinking about basing a project on it, and it seemed like there were still a lot of moving parts. If you build something on that, is it likely to have major breaking changes because it's basically then a dependency for you?
Yeah, no, we released 1.0.0 before coming here. During making the presentation, I already spotted a few things, but there are bugs, visual things here and there. We will continue working on that because it will be our base for all our projects from now on. I don't expect to have breaking changes, but if we do so, we will issue the proper measure and provide information about that. But I don't think so. I mean, it's, yeah, that it will have because more or less it will be visual fixes, CSS here and there, nothing big. Yeah. And the theme is basically CSS and a few, not that much customizations.
So
they will be using semantic version always, you know.
Sure.
Yeah. So basically, like we put lots of effort, like to make it like reusable, so that you can put it everywhere without thinking like, okay, so do we need to do all those Cypress and everything? So basically, we wanted to make a product which is like looks good from the start. So we took all the measures, like what should we do into the theme, right? And we introduced like those like layout structure, like which is like happening for all the clients. So we put all those things. So if there is anything breaking, it should be into the Volto. If Volto changes, right? So something has changed and we are doing something like very much less customization or anything, then we might have to change the theme. But otherwise, it is pretty stable. Like we check almost all the things like before coming to the conference, right? And we have like all the measures to like checking all the blocks, all the component, vertical spacing with all the like Excel sheet and everything to maintain that what is happening, like what is left, what is not with all our designers and everything. So I think that is pretty stable. You can use it like right away. Like
We'll maintain also the matrix of the
all the things.
of
Like.
the peer dependencies and also the minimum Plone version, Volto version that requires it. Yeah.
And here, why do you choose only 3 breakpoints and instead of, for example, 4 in the configuration, no, in the layout?
3 what? 3 widths.
Yes, in the layout.
No, you want
Yeah.
to say?
So the first thing like which we have like 13-inch or 15-inch of screen generally we use like when you travel. So we have a sensible default like 940 pixel. So we want to give you a good experience like when you are using like the smaller screen like which we all have. And then we went to the 4040 pixel because generally 4040 pixel has like once your MacBook is like you have external display, then you have like greater than 4040 pixel of the view layout. And we do not want to expand like since we have like highlight block or slider block, if you expand like the full width of your external monitor, it will be like a big image. So we thought that let's snap everything as the 4040 pixel so that we have like consistent view, like what you see into like a smaller screen is almost similar to that. And for the default one, like the narrow width, so we generally think it will be like 80 characters of words. So that's the one thing, like when you have like a content, because like lots of like the news item content and the page content type or anything which you are publishing that, we should have a retention of the eyes, like when you move to the new line and you do not have to like go like once to the side and then you have to find like where I am. So that's the thing like we put these 3 parts.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions? Okay, thank you, Victor and Alok. Big applause for them.
Thank you.
You can start quickly.